everything that GoldBod is doing in collaboration with the
small scale miners.
Yeah,
No? Okay.
Because without re-mining, the GoldBod will not get any gold to buy.
Yeah.
Until you better GoldBod so buy before now prices was like a black market. Obia won the price of little gold in this country.
In terms of their operations, more formalized than what we see on the screens all the time. And see, make us a small scale, GoldBod buy. It has also brought some sort of dignity and respect to the small scale mining sector, because now people are seeing the real economic contribution of the small scale miners. Because as of now, about 52% of the total gold produced comes from the small scale mining sector. So once the GoldBod has come in and be able to sanitize the downstream aspect, where you'll be able to get funds flowing from GoldBod through aggregator down to tier 1 and tier 2.
And it is uncommon. I am a busy basa. The pa na MPP for problem. Omuso omukase GoldBod in Bank of Ghana, the Central Bank of Ghana. Omaboka. And the omodi yeka omucho mutambetia.
Wo to gold. Wo dija. Wo akoboka. Wo si yaka na wabono. Wo di akotro wo bi buku mu. Na wo dia waton na esika na ba wo si wanya mfaso. Nti wo dia yaka na ya woka. Na what be that? We be a company mienu. Company ba ko na ye di staff salary ato. E na company ba ko so na ye di sales akoto. Nti ye ba ye si o menya mfaso. Now, a kana wo boy and the cost of sales no way.
But ni neti Sammy Gyamfi no as a auto dead lumanyum mintiobia Yentiobia na auto or see GoldBod to launch digital gold platform for Ghanaians and Africans. At the GoldBod no or the new level, the next level. We taking over with the show guy. At the baby a level na ye kono. And it said, about Ghana, you go there, you be create a platform, Ghanaians and Africans, who bet me a business with Ghana about in terms of your good. Okay, say your good friends and good part home. Who bet me go to be as an investment, and then you go different level. Your gold jewelry, you go different level. Still, minority force the GoldBod for you. Say MPP by 2028, why na do mobile? They mui. Almost by 2028, on by GoldBod, any leaders. Omu nimbela amount crowd mutual. This is for Jesus Christ. And young Pomba. I guess I party a mobile papa. Oh, my Ghana ha. Now, according to direct finance information and free GoldBod, Ebache said GoldBod gold export rose from $10.3 billion in 2024 to $20.9 billion in 2025, while small-scale gold production rose from 1.9 million to 3.5 million ounces. They say GoldBod sikana emoede sikani ebuta sikana bapa, but Professor Aaron Maikwe oye MPP ni oba osemo forget we MPP asem. O say if we give our mineral resources to foreigners and settle for royalties, our children will continue to suffer. Ghana must take charge of its mines. And the way any MVP ni mapaho.
Our foreign minister has told us that we tax our people and we spend more than 44% of that tax, all that we collect, just to pay public service salaries. It's nobody's fault, but it tells us that there is something fundamental that we must examine. And that is where we also have some advantage. Gold, bauxite, diamond, manganese, lithium, oil, and those things. We should have to examine them because we, from our research, believe that is our future in this country. But if we will give it to other foreigners, and then we will take royalties, which we describe as jikodidi, then of course we are not going anywhere. And our children will continue to suffer. We are told by the Ghana Statistics Authority, Statistical Board, whatever, that in Ghana here, our young people about some 22% of them are unemployed. We are talking about the records. Nobody's fault really, but that's the reality we have. Can we continue doing that? And that is why we say, if we go to Dubai, do they own the resource? The answer is yes. And they have people working on it for them. Do we want to be like Dubai? Yes. But will you therefore want to apply the paradigm a la Dubai? No. Then what do we want? It's sad and it's serious. And that is why we've taken a very serious attitude toward this matter. We have researched, we are researching, and we'll continue to research. And to lead, or at least have Ghana in the process of the debate. And I'm congratulating the organizers on this occasion for this brilliant work. The best practices are there and they are known. What are some of the difficulties for us? We should not forget that when it comes to capital, none of those European countries hold bags of money and bring them. When you have the mineral, and there is shown that it's a bankable project, of course, you will get money from the international capital market. You will get the money. If you talk about expertise, there are Ghanaian companies which are very, very expertly today in the art of actually mining. In fact, the owners abroad don't go into the mines.
But Afenyo Markins, the minority leader, or say NDC for Boka with GoldBod over 22 billion Ghana cedis and a cow mabo. Majority for Makwine. No on make him our parliament. Papa no so a friend Sammy Gyamfi di kan catch almost say we ready. Enti omon friend of parliament. Enti ade na omoda so doji. Omon so Sammy Gyamfi na Sammy Gyamfi no ne ho na e omahi. But you are winning the India. The minority tata Sammy Gyamfi sa no catch them why. Na bibi eduru no as a ajimisem. Di catch them comment section na say. But indicate here won be di mudi the film me inform me wona me entertain mu ya. Education na minimum mienu na no ya share ama ya honti je na ekosoma MPP for tata Sammy Gyamfi ni GoldBod because GoldBod ni ma Ghana economy aye better ana omompe sa omoma power ntem ana say dia dia waka se mewie na we ni wa subscribe like share ma unua esu enya bi na ohwe edi no eguzu ye ba akope Maxi Billian awu naked truth we old Oldboga trends according to information free GoldBod Akati Eba say GoldBod to launch digital gold platform for Ghanaians and Africans. Eti wait matter at the comfort of your home. Na wako GoldBod platform no so. Na what trading in gold. To gold, see gold, number gold enye mfasodie, emfamao ene wabrabo, ene webusuafo. Eti way apart from the gold part, the gold jewelries, ene unkwanyaba no. They say the new investment at GoldBod Ediba, the GoldBod digital platform. Remember Ghanaians and Africans, ometimato gold. Now omasa a save gold. I'm a gold. I am investment. Just like say we treasure bills, ugo pemu bank auto stocks and now auto shares of a company. Sanya money na investment opportunity no. GoldBod say why not? Ghana gold no as a Ghanaian. Old a Ghanaian gold. Nama business and enye de. Now way got a good news, a good information. Dear banner here. Another good information sign here before some buying before no so. GoldBod CEO lawyer Sammy Gyamfi has revealed that significant portions of the Tano Nimiri Forest were degraded before the establishment of GoldBod, but 50 hectares of the affected area have since been reclaimed. He added that the plans are in place to restore an additional 150 acres of the forest in 2027 as part of ongoing efforts to rehabilitate degraded lands.
That was destroyed before the GoldBod was established, but today we are reclaiming 50 hectares of that, and we plan, Chairman, to ramp up our reclamation program to cover a further 150 hectares of devastated forest lands next year. Under environmental, social, and governance policy, the GoldBod is fully funding the rehabilitation of 3 of the 6 water treatment plants of the Ghana Water Limited, shut down as a result of poor water quality linked to irresponsible mining and other activities. These 3 plants, Akwase, Setrehimai, and Bonsa, serve over 76 communities and over 100,000 users in the western and central regions. The rehabilitation of the remaining 3 water treatment plants at Kenyako, Befikro, and Eseju will also be fully funded by the GoldBod next year.
Edi Tano Nimiri Forest na your friends and papa your friends. Chamaunt me. Or say no. And then Samra Boy Forest no. GoldBod for the candy 27.9 million. Eddie Echo friends Samra Boy na ya reclaim his land no view. Or young boy ye Ghana for the spending sika. Also. No hala. Tano Nimiri and also according to the CEO, Edema GoldBod and also obey Wedma, yopo, Edema Ghana for Jomuta Mutuku. And I'm saying correct, kama. But I don't think I message I'm out to me, Mama Kwanina Munche, Kawaboy and Nyaka Kitwa. Another good news from GoldBod. Gold export rose from 10.3 billion in 2024 to 20.9 billion in 2025, while small scale gold production rose from 1.9 million to 3.5 ounces. According to information bio, it has a GoldBod. Sammy Gyamfi na akwano na drink kanitika. On in book was said in practical friends things to do. Akwana ma GoldBod na too much attractive. I now understand the hate. 2024, Baumia ni go for oil na MPP. Nana dan kwa for the policies no. MI 10.3 billion of US dollars. And then you're rising it across 20.9 billion in 2025. 2026 in corner year. That means more money for GoldBod and Ghana Central Bank. It's Sigano those up baby neighbor
against large scale mining. And this all is the 2024, right? If you look at small scale mining and 2024 and 2025, 2024 we didn't have GoldBod. So we're talking about 1.9 million ounces of gold produced by small scale miners. In 2025, by the time the year ended, we're talking about 3.5 million. That's almost twice in volume there. And you compare that to large scale mining, and we now know that the small scale mines are overtaking the large scale mines in terms of production. And this again, GoldBod takes the credit for it. So this is all the situation with GoldBod after. And then you come to gold exports. So GoldBod a year on, you're looking at 10.3 billion before 2024. We're talking about 20.9 billion in 2025. So the numbers are huge. And many point to that to justify the GoldBod experiment. It's been a year, we are still experimenting. A lot needs to change to perfect it. Can we perfect it? The benefits are weighing the negatives. The minority at the press conference today will hear their thoughts on that subject very shortly. A year on, should we keep the GoldBod? Should we tweak it? Should we review it? And what must happen to it to deal with the challenge that I'll quickly point out shortly. But then you look at the GoldBod's impact and focus here on 2025 when it comes to the currency. It's appreciated 40.1%, historic appreciation indeed. Because if you look at 2024, we're talking about depreciation of 19.2%. Even this year, with the fluctuations, it's been very slow, but there's been changing impact on the city. As of July, depreciation is just by 9.5%. But this was historic, and GoldBod takes credit for that too. The question is, how do you sustain this over a period, and what happens when something happens to gold prices? My guess will weigh in on that big topic too. Now, key indicators, the reserve status question, which I raised earlier. You just see here in 2024, we're talking about 13.8 billion we've accumulated, again, down to GoldBod, with just 9.1 billion before GoldBod came into play. So all the indicators say this has been good. Even when you look at its financials, as it was published by GoldBod itself, you're looking at the surplus of 5.4 billion. So these numbers rolls off your tongue, but it just tells one side of the story. And then you look at the IMF report. The IMF report is telling us something really serious in terms of the red flags being waved at us, which is the point of the BOG incurring losses. huge jaw-dropping losses, 22 billion worth of losses, and which is what the minority has been flagging today at their news conference, raising fundamental issues and promising that there will be some accountability as far as the gold board is concerned.
General Secretary of the National Small Scale Miners applauds Sammy Gyamfi and GoldBod for the formalization of the gold trading sector. According to small scale miners, Moses said, Sammy Gyamfi, we are too much, what? We are Kediwa. Time you do all. And the money na why no. Level na your panel na odi agwa do no because enya GoldBod ba mo ba ye ya mo formulates gold trading sector ya. Aman ne aman voltimi my frakadam. Omutimi muyen 1000 fans so bia no. And then say gold no. The enya do Ghana and no wonder say ye gold do na ye ton free Ghana no. Ye moving as a gold production country from 7th to 6th position. Ina no a GoldBod for other romantic the fans amamo. Professor Aaron Maxi, former Speaker of Parliament, Edema Ghana, under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the first tenor no, or National Mining Dialogue 2026. If we give our mineral resources to foreigners and settle for royalties, our children will continue to suffer. Ghana must take charge of its mines. According to Professor Aaron Maxi, on say, "Sa go fees for our mining concession." 2027 and the year or only more mining companies, more mining concession. Ghana as a country ain't only said that we are 5% royalties, 12% royalties or that time. And the Mizel crowd for so open so. Or say you make sure so good young Casabit Madia when I ton yadi. Said the bear yet that manner ebano. One me bre enna. I feel now I'm so afraid but Jimmy or some moments I near ending once and for all.
Difficulties for us. We should not forget that when it comes to capital, none of those European countries hold bags of money and bring them. When you have the mineral and there is shown that it's a bankable project, of course you will get money from the international capital market. You will get the money. If you talk about expertise, there are Ghanaian companies which are very, very expertly today in the art of actually mining. In fact, the owners abroad don't go into the mines. We see also that international expertise at any level can also be hired. And we have looked at the research table, and you see that Microsoft and others owned by certain people from any particular country, nevertheless, the chief of our administration does not come from that country. If you look at all this, it means Ghanaians will also can hire the expertise and bring them on the table. In that connection, if we own the product, then of course we can also apply the byproducts because they are ours. Today, we don't have serious gold manufacturing companies here in this country, so that the work of our brother Sammy Gyamfi will be effective. If that is so, it is imperative for us to own the metal, and then we engage foreigners where necessary to help us. In our process, we have realized that one thing that bothers people is sometimes state corporations, they are not well managed because political and other interferences come into it.
And this is a call that I love so much. Me papa, I don't know about you. Alexander Afenyo Markins. I feel the mess that's it. I am minority leader. I see the condition for bail for the current GoldBod leadership in the future will be scary. Where the claim said GoldBod, Sammy Gyamfi, and then the GoldBod, and the Bank of Ghana for about Kase, so 22 billion. And I say, now, media relations officer for GoldBod, Prince Kwame Minta, as a GoldBod, are you ever ready for a parliamentary probe? Or say, MPP for them are ready for our parliament. I'm so ready. And the Munya Kasane press conference, no, from my ready. Kasa Sammy Gyamfi come as I wonder that. And then, a friend is saying, media relations officer Prince Kwame Minka so e dey about to say GoldBod for ready. So man, sir, the minority and the MPP questions of parliament. I'm say are they also ready to call them Kojo Ponkruma Afenyo Markins and your friend is saying Mame Abena say Asare according to the media relations officer Prince Kwame Minka ready. The minority has challenged GoldBod to account for losses from its gold trading operation, arguing it cannot claim credit for foreign exchange gains while distancing itself from costs and losses from the same transactions. Now, my biggest problem is, are there is MPP working for IMF? And I say IMF is working for MPP. Because I don't get it. Are there IMF Akaway? And IMF Akaway? The same IMF, must say, John Dramani Mahama in 2015. According to Tiko Share, oh, Wari Namna Manaka Dumpi and Kojo Ponkroma Kai. Wari Namno Amanaka Dumpi. Say, Oko IMF, the enemy is a want me, Mugana Mino, Jam of the Bugana Mayame. And every information, as IMF Neka, then be at Twasso. The last time I'm casting GoldBod Aboka, IMF, Omuyome Pacho, Sanse Munyai. Movie I'm going to report Ghana, my IMF. Abra Ghana pay free IMF. So, I'm fat Munyai. And then IMF a quote said 22 billion. Yeah, them say IMF gold now, yeah, process the idea of animal. Yeah, refund on pay. And the IMF have a problem. So what the hell do we care about IMF? I don't know IMF they decided I'm MPP before. I don't know IMF. And the money people who understand the economy and accounts of this country. I'll make me this anime, but this is IMF catch them. We are young. There's we but I'm gonna come myself. I'm gonna say, IMF now can't. GoldBod is responsible for causing financial loss to the state. Minority leader Honorable Alexander Afenyo is stressing on the 22 billion loss in the Bank of Ghana gold purchase program with GoldBod. And the minority goes where Omusu say GoldBod no kana oma boni ni na no. GoldBod for your way. Say 22 billion or money Bank of Ghana for and our causes our financial loss to the state. A financial loss to the state. Yes, sorry, I bet you MPP for. You bet you MPP for. Meanwhile, a NDC if when only 1 year, about 22 billion Ghana cedis. MCA, Afenyo, Mackenzie. They say, hey, Odeni, we are boy what? Finance committee member Ata Issa has challenged the minority characterization of the 1.7 billion IMF figure as a direct loss, arguing that it is misleading because the amount includes 4 different categories of costs, including service fees, assay fees, discount to exporters, and exchange rate differentials, rather than representing a single cash loss to the state. The finance committee member Ata Issa at the NDC side, I say, IMF no problem. Or see way a operational cost. I idea I car boy ya. Sika ni abagu Ghana account ma. Ghana see they stabilize. Foreign friends saying reserves not stabilize no. Because of GoldBod and the Bank of Ghana. Without GoldBod, foreigners will still have been cheating miners with their huge discount buying approach. But thanks to GoldBod, the system is now transparent and fair to all. Prepare president of Concerned Small Scale Mining for or say and no GoldBod at that room and can and come on for motor gold figure and come to see but ni na no adrobianka dem as say no GoldBod say na inti ene yamo Sammy Gyamfi yamo na baso papa but for the stability of the city we should be buying a liter of petrol for 28 cedis and the MPPs are aware of this contribution of GoldBod to this success. That's why they have launched the unwarranted attack on its CEO, Sammy Gyamfi. Way, as we and Sama, and everyone said, MPP attack or more attacking GoldBod. And Sammy Gyamfi now because of Omusro. Sikana. Aha. Thank you, Dr. Stephen, for explaining the GoldBod issue to the layman understanding. The economic success is unmatched. Was it GoldBod? And for so they are brain. Yeah, ran for so never the bigger picture. Then the operational cost. Wait, Dr. Stephen. Also, SMA. Also, Eddie about Sisala is MP. As we said, 22 billion Ghana cities gold ball loss no MPP work no omo forget it on entertainment no enu nie na Kevin Taylor ase ho me kan ase ma che wasere MPP kojo pon kroma ene abena o se ase se Sammy Gyamfi de motra na wona bebu o mo beda je motra na mo beda je ti no monya Sammy Gyamfi ase man but minority in parliament and then our biggest concern how IMF I reported a message in the some can was
Sammy Gyamfi a small boy. Sammy Gyamfi on economic background bia. Sammy Gyamfi mo na mo so a party communication space me so in economics or giant. Sammy Gyamfi will break you into pieces. The same way I'm cha kojo kweku bakuti no the last samurai na me yi ni tie fru no Sammy Gyamfi ko be ti wuti literally obe yi wuti fru ko be end career osro say Sammy Gyamfi be end the career osro anka career ending confrontation anka outside no that side he osro career ending confront anka obe jujaw anka we girlfriends no current girl come nyabe jaw ka Sammy Gyamfi be bie wuto obe you are scared of a career ending moment share anka obeti
edene minority some of them no 22 billion Ghana cedis IMF for say aboka but Sammy Gyamfi say mon friend of parliament GoldBod for so man ready say parliament from mama be church nsem but still minority for so mon tiase dey na eko IMF adwuma minority and minority adwuma IMF omu wa na person say Ghana ka tell me comment section na say who you new subscribe like share ma unua eso enyabi ready no e ba ko pe Maxi Billian naked to Oldboga Prince. Macau. Bye bye.